JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, Hussein charged in shooting attack on police. A wanted man who turned himself into the police on May 12 has been charged with yet another offense, this time shooting with intent. Maurice Campbell, otherwise called Hussein, a 27-year-old laborer of New Harbour Village, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, was yesterday charged in relation to a shooting attack on the police that happened on Portland Avenue in Kingston 11 on Monday, July 27, 2020. This is Campbell's third charge, as he was previously charged with murder and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition in connection with the shooting death of 65-year-old Matthew Ranglin, otherwise called George, about 2:45 a.m. in his community of Ferguson Drive, Kingston, on Sunday, January 24. In the latest charge, the police said Campbell was among a group of men who allegedly fired shots at a team of police officers. However, he had reportedly escaped. Ex-con found hanging days after prison release. A Kingston family now has two loved ones to bury after an ex-convict is suspected of hanging himself at the police traffic headquarters less than 3 days after being released from prison. The body of 37-year-old Devon Smith was cut from a cable by firefighters at 10:15 a.m. after it was found hanging from the staircase railing of an administrative building of the Elliston Road Traffic and Highway Division headquarters around 4 a.m. on Monday. Smith's elder sister, who asked not to be named, said that he was released from the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center, having spent more than a year there for assault. He reportedly suffered from a mental illness. The Smith family lost a sister, Tracy Ann Sr., otherwise called Muller, on April 29 in a gang attack on mourners near Meadows Memorial Gardens in St. Catherine. 2 women died from gunshot wounds and several others, including an infant, were injured. Smith's sister believes that he might have been fearful of reprisal for the assault that landed him in prison or depressed over Senior's death. He called me up to Wednesday or Thursday and I asked when Muller bury. And me tell him, Gweno, you come for a funeral? But him really come for a funeral, cause of that him condo, the sister said, referencing his troubles with the law. The victim of Smith's assault reportedly resides in East Kingston. Smith, who was living with family at Wellington Street, allegedly hinted to a relative that he was going to do something. The family said they were planning to take Smith to the doctor on Monday and had gone to the police station, where he regularly hung out. 58 suicides were reported in the 2019 edition of the Economic and the Social Survey, too fewer than for the previous year. The majority of victims were male, 87.9%, and hanging was the most common method used, 75.9%. There were 2 victims below the age of 15 years, 8 between 15 and 24 years, and 8 over 65 years. The parishes of Manchester and Clarendon recorded the highest number of cases, with 9 and 7 respectively. The Economic and the Social Survey showed that 260 attempted suicide patients were seen in accident and emergency units of public hospitals in 2019. Teen trades stolen MacBook for iPhone, says police. A 15-year-old boy has been snapped with housebreaking and larceny after reportedly stealing a laptop and trading it for an iPhone in Back Hampstead, Runaway Bay in St. Anne, earlier this month. According to the police, about 10 a.m. on Wednesday, May 19, the complainant reported to the police that his MacBook Pro laptop, valued at approximately $300,000, was stolen from his house. The man was taken into custody following an investigation where he reportedly confessed to the crime during an interview. Lawmen said the teen later led them to St. James Avenue in Ochereus, St. Anne, where he reportedly traded the computer for an iPhone. His court date is not yet finalized. Media removed as court hears sensitive evidence against Beachy Stout. Members of the media were this afternoon removed from the proceedings against Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout MacDonald in the Home Circuit Court, as it was deemed that new evidence before the court is extremely sensitive. The information surrounds new material that was recently obtained by the prosecution in relation to the 67-year-old man who is accused of murdering his two wives. The prosecution was this afternoon expected to outline the new evidence, followed by a response from the defense and Justice Vinette Allen Graham. However, members of the media were instructed by the judge to withdraw from the hearing after the lead prosecutor indicated that the material was extremely sensitive. "It is material that I think, in the interest of justice, should not be disclosed to the general public," she said, while asking the judge to remove reporters. The move was supported by the defense, which said the revelation would not be good for potential jurors. Following submissions on the new evidence, the judge is expected to make a decision on McDonald's bail application. She has signaled that the ruling might again be delayed due to the length of this afternoon's submissions. The Portland businessman is charged along with Oscar Barnes for the murder of his second wife. In the first matter, a cold case, McDonald is charged in connection with the killing of Merlin McDonald, who was shot dead outside her home in Bournebrook, Portland in May 2009. It is alleged that he had paid a police detective to kill his wife after their marriage crumbled and she left the matrimonial home. In the other case involving his second wife, Tony McDonald, the businessman is charged along with Barnes in connection with the July 20, 2020 murder. Tony's partially burnt body was found with the throat slashed beside her burnt car. Operator of illegal mobile cambio fined for breaching BOJ Act. The operator of an illegal cambio operating in St. James has been fined $300,000 or 12 months in prison. Clifton Williams, the manager of Sun Investment, had earlier pleaded guilty to breaching the Bank of Jamaica Act. In the meantime, his co-accused, Vernal Campbell, who was listed as chairman, and Earl Swaby, the purported director, have both been freed after Williams said he acted alone and without their knowledge in operating the business contrary to the law. Williams, Campbell, and Swaby were charged for buying, selling, borrowing, and lending foreign currency without being an authorized dealer. The charges followed an investigation by the Financial Investigation Division, FID, and Constabulary Financial Unit. A case file was prepared and submitted to the Director of Public Prosecution, who ruled that the men and the company be charged. Sun Investments was registered in 1994 and started operating that same year. In 2018, its license was revoked by the Bank of Jamaica because the company was breaching the rules governing the operation of cambios. The FID's principal director, Keith Darian, said this case was completed quickly. It took less than a month from charges to sentencing. This is a result of the thorough investigative work done by the FID and Constabulary Financial Unit. We have dozens more cases before the courts and in the pipeline. We will get the results, he said. Bowed with shame, the former National Commercial Bank NCB manager, who robbed the bank of $34 million over a 3-year period, said she had struggled with her behavior as she looted funds to finance a spending spree on clothes, handbags, and renovation of her 4-bedroom mansion. The 52-year-old woman, Andrea Gordon, who was on Monday sentenced to just under 8 years in prison, also said she was extremely ashamed about the sense of betrayal she had caused friends, family, and co-workers. The mother of 2 was sentenced to 5 years and 4 months on 3 counts of larceny as a servant, 2 years and 11 months on 3 counts of access with intent to commit an offense, and 7 years and 6 months on 7 counts of engaging in a transaction involving criminal property. However, the sentences, which were handed down by Justice Lorna Shelley Williams, will run concurrently, so she will serve 7 years and 6 months in prison. Despite an impassioned plea from Gordon's lawyer, Vincent Wellesley, Justice Shelley Williams said that the substantial sum that was fleeced, the pursuance of personal gain, and the possibility of the bank losing consumer confidence weighed heavily in the decision. She, however, credited Gordon for a favorable social inquiry report, her guilty plea, and the fact that she had no previous conviction. The judge, however, stressed that Gordon's breach of trust and the evidence against her overwhelmingly influenced the sentencing. The once highly respected manager, who bore her soul in a social inquiry report, which was read in the Home Circuit Court on Monday, said that, to date, she cannot think of anything worse she could have done. Gordon, who said she was humiliated by the scandal, expressed regret and apologized for implicating her son, O'Dane French, in the multi-million-dollar fraud. French, who Gordon said was upset with her, is facing fraud-related charges along with his father, Lloyd. In connection with the matter, is scheduled to return to the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on June 24. The court also heard from her children via the social inquiry, in which they asked the judge for leniency on her behalf and said they were in shock and disbelief when they learned of her actions. O'Dane, who described his mother as his best friend, said that although he was puzzled by her behavior, he believes she acted outside of character and that she made a genuine mistake. Gordon, who sported a cornrow updo and who wore the same outfit from her last court appearance, burgundy blouse and the black pants, appeared embarrassed and held her head down for most of the hearing as she sat in the prisoner's dock. However, before the sentence was passed, Leslie pleaded with the judge to take into account that she had owned up to her wrongs from the moment they were discovered and had pleaded guilty at the first opportunity. He believes that her actions should have earned a 50% discount based on the Criminal Justice Suppression Act. Leslie further urged the judge to consider mitigating factors such as his client's previously good record and her positive social inquiry report, which he argued outweighed the aggravating issue of her breach of trust. Justice Shirley Williams gave a 20% discount on Gordon's sentence. Gordon claimed she stole the funds after she fell into financial difficulties while renovating her house and because she needed money to help a relative who had cancer. The bank executive, who had been with NCB for 30 years at the time of her arrest, was earning more than $11 million annually. The Financial Investigations Division has indicated that it will be moving to seize her assets. A case management hearing has been set for July 9 for the forfeiture and pecuniary penalty order application. Jamaica's COVID numbers trend downwards. Jamaica recorded 37 new cases of the COVID-19 and one virus fatality yesterday, bringing the country's confirmed cases to 48,594 and the total fatalities to 949. According to the latest statistics from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the latest death is an 86-year-old female from Hanover. The ministry also reported 3 more deaths under investigation and another as coincidental. The new virus cases consist of 21 females and 16 males with ages ranging from 5 years to 93 years. The cases were recorded in Westmoreland 7, Kingston and the St. Andrew 5, Clarendon 5, Hanover 4, St. Ann 4, Portland 3, St. Catherine 3, Manchester 2, Trelawney 2, St. James 1, and St. Mary 1. The ministry said 187 patients recovered from the virus, pushing the total virus recoveries to 25,485. There are 21,784 active cases of the virus on the island. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember, subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.